call to mind our Unitarian Universalist seventh principle, to which we are all committed, and it is respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. And today's talk certainly will tie in with that. Today's presentation will show how one group, Seeds, is working for a way and to support the interdependent web. Jim has devoted many hours and days over the past 20 plus years of his retirement to advancing the cause of renewable energy. Much of this work was on his own, and much of the work has been through Seeds, the organization of which he'll talk to us about now. Jim?
Okay. So, it's recorded. This?
Let's see. My screen should be showing up, but let me go through the screen share process again.
We're working on it.
Pardon?
We're working on it.
Okay.
Look at what?
Getting the screen share.
I've got my screen up, Tom.
Okay.
I could go back and go through the screen share process again. Let me go to the Seeds.
Just go to Zoom.
I'm sorry.
Go to Zoom screen.
Let's see, where's that? I'm gonna have to get back. Pardon?
Did you close Zoom?
I did open Zoom, but did I close it? Not that I know of. I just don't. Okay. Choose what app to share. Okay. Pardon? Okay. Filter display. Okay. Now I'm gonna see if I can find. Okay.
It says you've started sharing, but it doesn't.
Okay, I don't have that open yet. I'm gonna go to the file and see if I can find it.
Good.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You got it.
Well, okay. All right. Let's see if this does it. Yep.
Turn the light on too. Yeah, but that's what we're gonna do too.
Should I try that?
It's Tom, it's showing on my screen, but not here.
That's better, yeah. Oh, and we can see it too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just getting the activity swirl.
Right, we don't have it either.
Don't talk to me about it. Tom,
While he's doing that, I'll just say good morning and ask a few questions. My presentation is going to include a few slides, but a lot of extemporaneous speaking about Seeds itself. How many have you ever heard of Seeds? Okay. Do you know what it stands for? That acronym?
Sustainable energy.
Okay.
No.
Sustainable energy, education, and development support. And it came about because a few individuals from the Honesdale local area, many of whom you know, Kathy Dodge, Pete Snyder, Chuck Hine,
Michelle Sands.
Michelle Sands in particular, she was a big driving force. Jack and Barnett, Marianne Carletta, and a few others. In the early 2000 and 2006, 7, somewhere around there, they got together and said, we've got to do something about climate change. And their idea was that if we could encourage people to reduce their energy usage. Good.
Hey, Tom.
All right, thank you, Tom. If we could encourage people to reduce their energy uses and shift to renewable energy, we would be doing something about climate change. Those convictions led to a formal organization called SEEDS. And I'll show you what,
Hey, you want to do slides?
okay, where's that?
I don't know why you can't see your,
Okay, there we go. Now I can go. Now, I'm going to go to the mission of SEEDS.
It was there.
It-
It was there.
Okay, it was there. Okay, here we go.
you click on view slides at the
Okay,
top.
got it. There
View
it was.
slideshow.
Okay.
We don't see this.
Mission, to promote energy efficiency, renewable energy, and sustainable living in our communities. Now that mission led to some educational forums about things like how to use more sustainable products in home cleaning, how to reduce energy usage in the home, LED light bulbs, all that sort of thing. But more importantly, it eventually
You just click on the slide. over
led
there.
to presenting educational forums, and most importantly, these efforts right here. Establishing an infrastructure to meet the needs and desires of the community, now we hope hungry for renewable energy and sustainable living. And the keys to SEED success have been to educate contractors in solar and wind installations, small scale wind installation, and solar PV installation. So they actually got a guy from Texas to come up here and give a course on how to design and install solar panels. I took that course myself. That was for contractors, but I was curious, so I took the course. And out of that course came a couple of contractors who actually started business installing solar panels in the Honesdale area. One of them was a bit of a dilettante and he didn't stay in business. But the other, Larry Buselli, created a rather large business in designing and installing solar panels. He went on, he was already a master electrician, and his company, his family company, did plumbing and heating and electrical work especially. But Blair went on to become a certified solar designer and installer, and so did Jack Barnett, by the way, even though he's not a contractor, he's a consultant, basically, with SEEDS. And our efforts well, in addition, there was a small scale wind installation forum as well, which I also went to. But the main thrust of SEEDS' energy efforts have been encouraging people to install solar panels and encouraging people to reduce energy. The solar panel effort gave rise to a DIY installation course that SEEDS has given year after year, finding an individual who wants to install solar panels but doesn't quite have the means to hire a contractor to do it. And so we use that person in that person's location as a way to educate people who want to do their own DIY jobs. So we'll have anywhere from 10 to 20 people attend a classroom course on how to do it, and then go on to actually do the installation. So that's the DIY part of it. Seeds has also helped install solar panels with Seeds volunteers in places like the Highlights Foundation. Don't know whether you've ever gone by the Highlights Foundation and seen that large ground-mounted array that they have there, and on their barn, a large array on the roof of the barn. Seeds volunteers, including myself, Pete and Kathy, Jack Barnett, a bunch of others, actually built that installation, along with a bunch of Highlights people themselves. So that's been one effort, and it's been, in my opinion, really meaningful. And by the way, our own house has 3 solar panel installations, a solar hot water generator, a geothermal heat pump, and some heat pumps. I'll get into heat pumps a little bit later. So that is that slide. As I said, I'm not going to cover all of these slides, but energy efficiency assessments is another significant effort that Seeds has done. The idea was to offer the opportunity for people to have Seeds volunteers come in, go through their house from top to bottom, and identify ways they could save energy. One summer, we hired a bunch of basically high school kids who needed summer internships and college kids to go to those homes, along with the guidance of more knowledgeable people like myself and Jack and other folks, and do these assessments and write up a formal report and that sort of thing. So people have this report that shows all the ways they can save money by reducing energy in their homes. I've been trained in doing this, and I've done a number of them, both with groups and on my own. And it's just amazing how many ways you can lose energy in a house and waste money by letting that heat go through leaks and lack of insulation and all the rest of that. So it's a very meaningful process. And Seeds continues to offer that opportunity to people. Solar assessments given to Seeds members. That picture shows what's called the Solar Pathfinder. It's a little bit of an outmoded instrument now, but it's a handheld instrument that you take up on a roof, and if you set it up with the right orientation, et cetera, it can show you how much sunlight is going to fall on that roof every day of the year from morning till evening, and how much shading that roof gets under current conditions. This little pattern shows a shade pattern. This pattern shows the sunlight hitting the roof. And I've gotten up on dozens and dozens of roofs using this instrument to help me do solar assessments. I continue to do solar assessments for Seeds, and another primary, Jack Barnett, is the other primary volunteer who does this.
So if that's outmoded, what's new?
Oh, you can get on the computer and have an app for doing the same thing. Very often, if someone wants a solar assessment, the first thing I do is bring up their home on Google Maps, and I'm able to look at the roof on Google Maps, and I'm able to see whether it's oriented how it's oriented north to south. And so is the sun going to hit it at all hours of the day? And very often that Google picture shows enough about the surrounding trees that I can make an educated guess about the shading. A house doesn't have to be perfect for solar panels. There's a lot of variables. I can tell you that installing solar panels on a north-facing roof that's heavily shaded is not going to be a good economic decision. But I can also tell you that a roughly, south-oriented roof, if you put solar panels and it's not totally shaded, will make you a lot more money than investing your money in a savings account, for example.
How long does that have to stay on your roof to give you an answer?
Long enough for me to take a picture of it, that's all.
Oh,
It's instant. If the sun hits it, it tells the story.
Can you do that with Starlink? Find out if the Starlink will.
Can you use Starlink to do it?
Can you use that to see your Starlink would work in your house? Does it have to be-
Not really, because Starlink is depends on a lot of different factors.
Okay.
For example, a solar roof has to be south facing. Around here, the Starlink signal comes from the north. So, but shading is important with Starlink, and north facing is important. So what else should I say about solar assessments? Yes,
Do you do them in New York State? At least our part of New York State here in Harrisburg.
I'm sorry?
Do you do it in New York State where we live?
Yes, we do. We cross that old river. Come to you.
Okay, thank
Uh,
you.
The other thing I'll say about solar assessments is, and I could go into great detail on this, but I won't. Many people think of installing solar panels as a cost. Okay? I like to think of it, and I think I can argue that it's much more appropriate to think of it as an investment. Because basically, you're taking your money and you're buying a power plant. It's like you're investing your money in a power plant, and you're putting a power plant on your roof or in your yard. You can ground mount these things. And as soon as that thing is turned on, it starts making you money, just like any factory would, because it makes you money by taking the money you would normally pay for buying electricity and letting you keep it. So it's an investment, not a cost. Yes.
We have, I'm calling up, asking about my library in Monticello, we have a flat roof, and we get the Meadow credit already on our NYSEG bill. Like Meadow is one of the aggregators of solar. So we have a flat roof, and I could call the Sullivan County Office of Sustainability and have them come look at it, but on it, we have like 4 big, rooftop units, we have, like, do you need to have, it's flat, it's got that black coating on it, no trees around, but with all those things up there, like vents and things, like, I mean, can you still, is it worthwhile to like plop them between these things?
It really depends. For example, I'll get into the Clean Energy Co-op in a minute, but the Clean Energy Co-op went to the roof of the Cooperage project in Holmesdale, and the Cooperage project had a flat roof and it had a bunch of HVAC units up there. But we still install enough solar panels that the Cooperage project generates all the solar electricity.
And I was wondering, could we do both? Could we do the NYSEG offset?
Yeah.
But that's a question for.
But you'd have to have somebody take
Yeah.
a look at that. Can't answer your question
But
specifically.
you have done it, so that's good.
Yeah, our first installation in our home was a virtually flat roof, nice south-facing roof, but it had a slope that you couldn't put shingles on. You had to do sheet roofing on it. And, yes, Pat.
You've mentioned that a lot of times people call, they have really high electric bills, and they will call if they think solar panels will be the answer. And so often you go to their home and you find out that putting their money first into solar is not a good idea. They might need to do the energy assessment where they cut down all the leaks and the fact that they don't have insulation, and then also their heating system sometimes you need a recommendation that they would better put their money into a heat pump And then after all that, think about.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Pat. That's another thing I find out, and it's good that I'm trained in energy assessments as well as solar assessments, because I do get those calls. Somebody will call and say, my electricity bills are so high. Come and help me install solar panels. So I go to the house and I find that they have lots of air leaks in the house. They can save money by closing off upstairs bedrooms, that sort of thing. Insulating a basement floor. And more importantly, I tell them that they could put their energy dollars to better use by installing heat pumps, for example. And what's a heat pump? A heat pump is a device, like basically fundamentally, the engineering is just like your refrigerator or your freezer. A device that pulls air through it from the outside, extracts the heat from that air or from the ground, in the case of a geothermal heat pump, or from the ground, and delivers it to your house. The important thing to know about it, though, is it's 2.5 times to 3 times more thermally efficient than baseboard electric heating, and it's even more efficient than gas or electric or oil heat. And what's that mean? It means for every dollar you pay to get a unit of energy out of an electric baseboard heater, you would pay 2.5 times less, fewer dollars, to get the same unit of energy out of a heat pump.
So those are also called mini splits?
They can be called mini splits, they can be called a number of things, but it's basically a heat pump, yes?
I just want to point out, we have one in a large living space that is insulated.
Yes.
Fortunately, that's not true of the rest of my house, but this room is enclosed. It's like a kind of a studio apartment kind of deal. And that heat pump cools it all summer.
Yes.
You get west sun coming in, and it's made all the difference in the world. It just flips from summer to winter, and those seasons in between where you really don't need to turn your heat on, you just turn that thing on and you're comfortable.
Sure. And again, that's an investment as well, because if you take 2.5 times less, if you get 2.5 times more energy out of it, you're paying 2.5 times less for that. And you can certainly justify the investment by doing the math on that. Yes.
Can I ask a question about heat pump?
Yeah.
Sure.
I have a question too.
Okay, let me go first because this has to do with somebody else. A young woman with young children came to our council meeting, and she lives in an apartment. I think she lives on the top floor. There is a heat pump system, and she said her place is freezing, and she keeps on spending really a lot of money on her electric bill. Obviously, it's electrically heated. Is there, what do you think is not correct? Because I had heard that heat pumps were only really terribly useful if you're in a climate that doesn't go to like below 9 degrees or below a certain amount. So what do you think is happening with the heat pump that's servicing her building?
Okay, I'll address 2 questions there. Are heat pumps functionally viable in very, very cold temperatures? It used to be that they were not. The old heat pumps that you could buy 20 years ago were good only to about 38 degrees Fahrenheit, and then they would switch to electric resistance heating, like baseboard heating, which they were usually built into that heat pump. But due to some engineering changes and refrigerant changes and multi-stage compressors, heat pumps now are efficient down to 15 degrees below zero.
Okay.
So, Sharon, the fact that person has a heat pump doesn't mean much to me unless I know how old that heat pump was.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the research because I'm concerned about that whole building.
And if it's a very, very old heat pump, it should be taken out and thrown away and changed to a modern, efficient heat pump.
It could also be sized wrong, right?
It could be what?
Sized wrong?
Yeah, it has to be appropriately sized as well. But the other aspect of your question leads me to question whether or not that person lives in a very drafty environment, for example, where there's a lot of heat loss, creating a feeling of being too cold, and whether that person needs an energy assessment even before a new heat pump installation. There's not much point in installing a heat pump that's twice as big as it should be, because you have a very drafty heat loss kind of situation. You want to plug the leaks and then size the unit. So, yes, Pat?
Also,
I have a question as well.
that's right. Cameron has a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question goes back to the solar assessment.
Yes.
And you were saying that you go up on the roof. Now that just means you're looking for clear sky, like direct where the sun would come over, not really how much sun is going to get on the roof because it's so cloudy here. I mean, do we have solar panels now that can absorb sunlight through this thick cloud cover in this region? Because upstate where my mom lives, this company came in and bought a bunch of farmland up. Great farmland, very upsetting. They put up these solar panels and then afterwards it was an older farmer, so they gave him money to, for him to retire. And I love solar. I think it's a great idea, but it's very, very cloudy there. And they bring in generators, gas generators in order to take up the slack that this solar field is not creating for the town, which is completely the opposite of what it's supposed to be giving us. And it's very concerning to me because of the cloud cover. And I am, and with the farmland too. I mean, I think every roof should have solar panels before we take up our farmland. And up in Washington County, protected environmental land is being destroyed or about to be destroyed. I think they got an injunction on it. But yeah, let's put them on all the commercial buildings and all the homes first before we take up our farmland. Anyway, that's what I'm wondering. With the cloud cover, and can the solar panels really in this area? I mean, it's so cloudy here. And I would love it if we have great solar panels now that can do that. Okay, I'll be quiet and listen.
First aspect of your question, and are solar panels economically justified in a cloudy environment like this? Absolutely. We have them on our house, and they've more than paid for themselves. The investment has paid off. We generate, with our solar panels, we generate 100% of the electricity we use to operate our house, plus 2 electric cars. There is absolutely enough sunlight that falls on this area to make solar panels economical.
That is very encouraging to me. I am so glad to hear that. Because you're right here, right? You're in Honesdale area?
Absolutely. We live
Oh my
7
gosh,
miles,
that's
7 miles
wonderful.
north of, we live 7 miles north of Honesdale.
That's wonderful.
The National Renewable Energy Laboratory, a government organization, has a website that you can go to, and there's a very simple PV calculator, photovoltaic calculator, you can access for any address in the United States. And if you get into that and put in the parameters associated with your project, you can learn how much photovoltaic energy you can harvest from that site. Now, if you go into it and you're living down in putting data in for a site in Texas, you will no doubt find that a site in Texas can harvest more solar energy than a site in Honesdale. But both are viable. There are many installations of solar panels in Canada and all over the world in quote unquote cloudy environments that are very efficient and economically justified.
That's
That's-
fantastic because I was shocked when they were bringing big gas generators on these like big
Well,
you know, trucks, flatbed.
Bear in mind that the gas generators may be part of the design. It-
It's not supposed to be.
Well-
It's just pumping more energy into it. It's really it's a bad situation up there.
Let me finish my point, and then I'll go on to some other points I want to make in the
Sure.
presentation. If the gas generators may be part of the design, if this company designed an installation that's supposed to provide energy to its constituents year round, the design may have included supplementing that energy in wintertime when the solar panels are snow covered, which is also another factor around here, or when the cloud cover is so thick that the energy can't get through. And by the way, we can have a light cloud cover on our house and still generate electricity. It just doesn't generate as much, but that energy gets through cloud covers as well. And a third aspect to your question, taking good farmland and putting solar panels on it is a waste of good farmland. I offer for your consideration that there isn't a lot of good farmland that can be competitive in Wayne County. That's why most of the farmers are now growing hay, because they can't compete with the good farmland in other places. And if a farmer says, I can make more money by installing solar panels on this farmland than I can growing hay, why should we try to stop him? So I don't mean to start an argument or a long discussion on that. I offer you that for your consideration.
Jim,
Yes.
another aspect of farmland and solar panels is they are finding that there's certain things they can plant under them that makes a much more ideal climate. You're not getting that scorching sun in the summer. And so anyway, that's ongoing research. And
Some remarkable things are being discovered about raising livestock under solar panels, et cetera. And so it's not, the book is still open on that whole question. Yes.
Just two other questions. With panels, newer panels, maybe they're lighter, because I feel like in the past, with this, like reinforcing a roof, like do you find that that's as necessary now, like for the weight of the panels?
It's never really been necessary unless it's a poorly designed roof in the first place. The weight of the panels hasn't changed significantly. Each panel weighs approximately 40 pounds. I can lift them myself and take them up. I've done it. The more interesting thing about solar panels than weight is the fact that when we installed our first solar panel in 2009, the solar panel about this big, we could get 190 watts of energy out of that panel. Okay. Now, if you buy a solar panel, same size, you can get over 500 watts.
Wow.
So they've become much, much more efficient and will continue to do so. Now, does the fact that my panels are 190 mean that they're inefficient? No, they're producing electricity and they paid for themselves. I have no regrets about that.
The follow-up question was, so in the summer and the warmer months, you're obviously producing more. So for the months when they're producing less, are you able to store and then pay for yourself?
Yeah, what happens is if you're connected to the grid and you're generating electricity and using part of it because you don't need all that you're generating at that point in time, the rest of it goes to PP&L or whatever electricity provider you have. Those electricity providers in the state of Pennsylvania, and I believe in New York as well, are required to credit you that energy so that when you buy back the energy, you will get a credit on that. Now, you don't get 100% back because you buy energy at two components of cost other than taxes, the generation rate and the transmission rate. When PP&L takes your energy, they only credit you the generation rate because they still have to transmit it through all that equipment.
I just wanted to, if no one else is, someone else going to speak, because I just want to ask a question. A friend of mine recently had a deal with some guy who came by. I don't know what the name of the company was, but he got a whole new roof and solar panels as a part of the deal for $10,000. And he's already saying that he's so excited about it. Of course, his house is all electric, so it's a very good thing for him. But how do you think that's possible? Because I just had some roofs put on and they were much more than $10,000. So
Well,
what kind of deal could they have possibly made?
I can't tell you how I think it's possible, but I can tell you that I've never heard of such a thing before.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to know.
Well, I went by and I went by and saw it looks great. He's got a new roof and he's got these panels. So I'm thinking like, wow, what could be bad,
Take-
right?
Take
I don't
names,
know.
Sharon.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Take
Okay.
names, Sharon. Take names.
I would advise him to read the fine print on that kind of.
Yeah, something's going on, right?
All right. I had a question about the solar panels themselves.
Yes.
I'm seeing more and more lightweight ones that are even flexible, like they're sheets. And I wonder if you had experience with that. And also, if you had any experience with the ones that they're putting on highways. Like, I'm fascinated. I mean, I think they should be on all highways that aren't covered with tree coverage coming up to them. But the ones upstate, they have to replace them. The whole debacle one that I was talking about earlier, they have to replace them within 10 years because they only last that long, the ones they put in. And just your experience with the ones at your house, I'm so encouraged by that. But I'm wondering, are you going to have to replace yours soon, or what's your experience with the solar panels themselves?
There's a massive accumulation of data that indicates that most solar panel manufacturers guarantee the solar panels for 25 years. Most solar panel installations will generate electricity at decreasing efficiency, of course, but they'll continue to be effective for 50 years. So they're very long lasting. And the other thing that you were talking about, thin film technology and the other applications, that's future stuff. The state of the art right now for most of us who would want to spend our money effectively is conventional solar panels. And as good as they are, they're great. Yes?
Okay. Thank
Somewhere in
you.
your talk, hopefully, I was interested in the role that batteries play now. You get to that or when?
Well, I'll answer that question. It's not part of my presentation, but there's been an absolute revolution in battery technology due to lithium batteries. And they're fundamentally more efficient because they're much lighter in weight and have characteristics that for battery backup installations are much, much better. We have backup batteries in our house and they're fantastic.
But it's just for power outages. It's
For
not-
power
it's not
outages,
for daily use.
we're not off the grid. To go off the grid with batteries, you want to do that only if you cannot get an electrical
No,
connection
I was
with the
thinking
provider.
more of the power outage aspect.
Yeah, they're
They
fantastic.
have enough for a couple of days of a power outage stored and then
The way
access it.
the way ours work, we had a half day outage the other day, and our backup batteries, which really aren't very large, went down to about 70% by morning, and then the sun came out and the solar panels charged them right up again.
Thank you.
Yeah. This picture of the solar installation on Habitat for Humanity House, which was one of Seed's projects, that's solar hot water, for example. We've had building energy highly efficient, energy efficient homes that we have offered tours of. And this is really important point. Out of seeds emerged an organization called the Clean Energy Co-op. It's a separate business, so to speak, which offers nonprofits and other organizations, kind of hard to pinpoint who is eligible for this, the opportunity to install solar panels and have it financed very attractively by people like you and I who are willing to buy a share for $1,000 in the Clean Energy Co-op and expect a 2% return. But though that money generated goes to put solar installations on these kinds of places. The Cooperage Project, one of those flat roofs, Ant Hill Farm, Willow Wisp Farm, the Sturbridge Project, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Wilkes-Barre, the Ritz Playhouse, the Weavers, and it has, after its inception here, the Clean Energy Co-op generated some interest in the Philadelphia area. And in Ambler and Germantown, the Weavers Way organization installed solar panels on their stores. It's a co-op, and a chapter of the Clean Energy Co-op was created down there. And their next project is the biggest one that the Clean Energy Co-op has seen yet, and that's an 83 unit solar panels for an 83 unit co-op apartment complex, and they're just going to start raising money for that. That's been a really successful organization that has sprung out of, I won't go into that. This is the highlights installation, and Blair Buselli is also, this is a picture of a DIY workshop where Blair Buselli is covering some things about roof installations.
So the highlights picture also brings home the point that if your roof is not appropriate and you have property, you
Yes.
might be able to put up a freestanding or whatever.
Put it on the ground. We have 2 roof installations at our home, and when we got an electric car, I wanted to generate electricity to drive the car for 18,000 miles a year, but we didn't have any roof left over. So we stuck some on a pole out back. So,
Jim,
yes,
you looked at my roof and said it was not,
yes,
it was too variational, there was too many levels and
Yeah.
not enough space. But my question is, so I was disappointed. My question then, when you're mentioning windmills, now we live on the lake and we get a lot of wind. Are windmills loud, or is that something that you could put up without, you know?
yeah, you can put them up. The thing you have to be careful with wind energy is that generally you have to have a sustained wind of 8 miles an hour or more year round in order to make them effective. That sustained wind occurs commonly at heights of 100 feet or more. That's why on the ridge tops you
Right,
see
you see the
these
big ones, yeah.
really, really tall structures.
Right,
There's enough wind up there to make it economically viable.
right, so,
But most of us don't have that in our homes.
Right.
There are some hilltops where some hilltop farmer has put up a wind energy facility, but not usually viable.
Do you do wind assessments?
I'm sorry?
Do you do wind assessments?
No. In order to do a really effective wind assessment, you have to have an instrument installed at the location, at the height for about a year to do a proper evaluation.
100 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, if the panel is not on the house that you want heated or whatever you're going to be doing with it, like the ones that you have now on your pole, how does that get transferred into the whole grid that you have? What's the mechanism for something that's not on the house that you want serviced?
Oh, it's real simple. Just run the wire to the junction box.
Okay,
Ours is out back, and the wire runs from that solar panel installation to our electrical panel, and there a breaker, it's connected to a breaker.
okay,
And it's exactly the same as the one on the roof of the house. It
okay,
makes no difference. It's just a matter of one's on a roof, and the other's on a pole.
great. Thank you.
Can you apply a solar system like with the panels and everything on your house and not have that connected to the grid? Like, can you have that be a separate source of power for your home?
You could do it, but only if you are off the grid. And you have to essentially sever your connection to electrical services if you don't have it properly connected, if you don't have the home installation properly connected. And
Okay.
it's really a safety issue.
Oh, because I had heard that they were trying to make it illegal for private, this was years ago, for private people to put solar up to generate their own energy and not feed it back into the grid. So I was just wondering if that has changed. I don't know about Pennsylvania. I was living in Georgia at the time, so
No,
they were talking.
you can do it if you're, you can do that if you're not on the grid. And if you are on the grid, any solar panels that are installed in your house to provide electricity must provide a safety cutoff so that when you're generating electricity, if there's a power outage somewhere outside your home and a lineman is working on that line, your electricity could backfeed and electrocute that lineman.
Got it. Yeah. Well, wow. Yeah, of course. Thank you for all this information. This is great. Thank you.
Yes, guys.
I just bring up one little point quickly. There is an article even today and a lot of discussion now about these big data centers, and people already have high electric costs, and they are going to need so much more electricity. Our whole infrastructure and everything has to be upgraded to deal with this. And so it might be more important than ever. Some of them are taking care of generating their own electricity, whatever, but in general, there's going to be some consequences for people who are in areas like that where their electric costs may be going up, and might be more important than ever to have solar, to generate their own solar when they can.
Well, PPL is raising theirs next month, 7%.
Yeah.
What's that?
Next month, PPL up 7%.
Yeah.
Up 7%.
Well, and that's something that plays into any economic analysis of whether it's beneficial to you to install solar panels or not. And of course, the higher electricity prices for buying, the more beneficial it is to put solar panels up. Now, I've taken enough time talking to you, unless, are there any other questions?
Okay.
Okay. I have a question for you. Since this is a forum where ethics and morality should be discussed, I don't mean to lead into a long philosophical discussion, but I think you should at least go home with this question in your mind. Now, do we as human beings have a moral or ethical responsibility to make efforts to understand how to reduce climate change by employing some of the things I've talked about? And a side question to that is, if you get beyond that question, or if it's a yes, we do have some responsibility to the future of the human race to do these things. To what degree are we required, obligated to inconvenience ourselves to do that?
Why do you
And
call it an inconvenience?
this is, pardon?
Why do you call it an inconvenience?
Because I see, well, I'll give you a good example. I see many, many people who can look out the window and see electric cars driving by and say, I'm not ready. I'm not comfortable with this. It's strange to me. So, how does your obligation as a human being to reduce climate change play into that decision? How much are you required to get uncomfortable, to study a new thing, to adopt something that's new, to fulfill your obligation to the future?
I think it's affordability as well.
Pardon?
Affordability.
The affordability question for anyone who buys a new car, those who can't afford a new car, there's a huge number of electric cars on the market at very attractive prices. And I bought my last electric car for $34,000. They don't cost $100,000. So anyway, that's part of the investigation thing, getting all the facts and maybe getting out of your comfort zone to get all the facts. Heidi?
I put in mini splits and my electric bills dropped between a third and a half.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah, that was our
it's a
experience.
non-brainer.
Anyway, I don't think, I mean, we probably don't have time to go into a discussion of this, but I did want to throw that out for your consideration and your thoughts. Any other questions?
I just wanted to add one thing about the electric cars. I may be one of those people that I'm just not ready to go into the into it because I can barely deal with anything else I'm doing. But a young woman who lived on my block when I lived in Brooklyn had bought one and she was very excited about it. She had some sort of operation that probably has some kind of apparatus inside of her chest. And she couldn't drive that car. There was something about whatever that was that it made her insides vibrate. And she tried to go back to the company and they were not interested in doing anything for her. But I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but she certainly was having a great difficulty. I don't know what she had implanted in her, but whatever it was, the electric car was not agreeing with her. Just a cautionary sign in case you got something implanted in you when you go to buy one.
Yeah, I'm concerned with the electric cars and with these big AI centers that they're putting up. It's putting such a strain on our grid right now. Like I wish we would have started this in the 70s when we first started talking about this. We really needed
My
to.
response to that is this grid needs to be strained. It is needed to be updated for years and years.
Exactly.
In order for them to do something, yeah.
Do something about
Exactly. We're playing catch up right now, and we really need to do everything that we can. But I'm so encouraged by what you've shared about your personal, experience, and I'm very, very encouraged. And I lose power here all the time, and it's all electric. I'm in an apartment house and we don't have solar here. I've been talking to my landlord about that because we do have a very, a large roof that we could put solar south facing. And but yeah, I mean, I'm already losing power a lot, and years ago that was like unheard of, but more and more now. So we really need to play catch up. This is important.
Okay, I'll turn you back to Pat.
Thank you.
But the lights on, Pat?
No, I'm okay. I'll play it easy. Okay, for our closing words, thank you, Gina. That was really helpful and informative. And anybody can call Seeds or call you. And you mentioned being a Seeds member. They just changed their constitution, whatever you call it, that anybody who donates in any way or participates in any way is a member, so it's not a big deal. It used to be only, and it still would be, I mean, if there were memberships, it was only $10, so don't worry about joining seeds, it's not a problem. Okay, closing words. As we go forth from this sacred space, may we celebrate Earth and our shared lives. May we recognize our connections to all that is in and on Earth. May we truly and deeply value the inherent worth of all in this awesome interconnected web of existence. May we commit ourselves to a new way, and may we hold our commitments and earn and each other gently yet firmly. And as we extinguish our chalice, we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we're together again. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great week. Much love.
You too. Bye-bye.